Welcome to the virtual lunch. Today is Thursday, March 25th, and this is virtual lunch number 268. This is part of our wonderful series on simplifying complexity with Level Legal, and I'm honored today that Erin Levine of Hello Divorce is joining us. Hi, Erin.
Hi, it's so awesome to be here.
It's a privilege. So I'd love to start and just have some of the folks who are on tell you who they are.
My name is Eric Hughes. I'm out here on the West Coast. I work for Level Legal as one of the directors, proud sponsor of today's podcast.
You're an attorney in California, the founder of Hello Divorce. Tell us about your background and the genesis of Hello Divorce.
I've been a lawyer for 15 years. I'm a certified family law specialist in California. My first connection with the law was when I was 16 years old. I was a witness in a criminal case and a plaintiff in a civil case against my gymnastics coach. I was an elite gymnast at the time. He was very abusive. I turned him in and obtained justice in the traditional sense of the word. He went to prison. He paid for my law school education. But the experience within the legal system was awful. It was re-traumatizing, triggering, inefficient. There was a fortress of information that was put up and I couldn't see through any of it. It was just a very opaque process. So I got very interested in the law. Family law felt like a good use of the skills that I wanted to use, which was helping people sort of navigate difficult times and understand the legal system. I started my firm in Emeryville, California, and over the next 10 years, it grew pretty big for a family law firm. I had 12, 13 attorneys at the time. Then I had kids and got married and was absolutely miserable, burnt out, wasn't connecting at all with my purpose, my why. That's when I did a design sprint and I interviewed hundreds of people who had been through the divorce process or were considering divorce or were in it to get a sense for what went wrong, what they needed, what they weren't getting from lawyers. And it turned out that people were really looking for something different. So I started my research and found that the average divorce in the United States costs $15,000 per person, and 75% of divorces have at least one self-represented party. So where are those self-represented parties getting help? Sometimes from the facilitator's office, which is overburdened, and there's only so much help they can provide. What I started to notice as I really dug deep is that these form-generating companies were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in Google AdWords. So I thought to myself, they've done this for the last decade. There has to be a market here. And I want in because what they're providing is not a solution and it's not addressing anything other than the divorce form. What I wanted to do was create something that would allow people to navigate the divorce legal process start to finish on their own. The first thing I did was take my own team at Levine Family Law Group, because to do a two-company model, because regulations, I had a lot of moms that were saying to me, Erin, I can't do both. I'm going to have to leave the firm. And I said, wait, I know you love what you're doing. I know you like to make money. How would you like to set your own schedule, work any time of day and night, as little or as much as you want by servicing the consumers that use the Hello Divorce platform? They were all in. Part of this was just sheer luck. I couldn't compete with lawyers and their Google AdWords spend. And I didn't have any money for marketing at the time because I was paying back all the friends and family that invested in me to begin with. We know before people file divorce, it's about 2 to 5 years of them trying to save their marriage and thinking about whether or not divorce is the right step for them. We came to them earlier in the process. We started to educate people on lawyers are just one piece of a very big puzzle in divorce, and we're not going to make them centric to the case. That's where a lot of B2C platforms go wrong, is they still make lawyers who are expensive and heavily regulated the most important part of the process. And you can't do that. We take the lawyer out and we say the lawyer's only there if you absolutely need one, which automatically takes people's anxiety down. People don't go into divorce thinking, I want a messy, ugly, super expensive divorce. They just don't feel like they have any other options. So the other thing we did was break the divorce process down into 3 steps, no matter what state you're in. And the first 2 steps are non-controversial. And so with our automated content and our legal assistants that are jumping in, we've now convinced people, wow, you just did the first 2 steps without fighting, So by the time they're ready to step into step 3, which is negotiating that final agreement, they're in a much better place. Oftentimes they're not feeling as emotional, but they're also ready to be done. We've had 97% of our divorces actually get through our platform start to finish. Doesn't mean they didn't upgrade, but they've made it through their entire divorce. To me, feels like a pretty big success. Nobody knows their consumer better than an experienced lawyer. That's why I'm such a huge proponent of us getting lawyers on board now before the rest of the business community truly understands what the opportunities out there with the changes in regulations. It's also a way for me to build a competitive moat, because how many people are going to build out every county in America? It's hard work, and I'm banking on that hopefully we'll be able to really take over this vertical. Our goal is to help people opt out of the system altogether. In some states, that's not entirely possible. There is a prove-up hearing at the end or a status conference that you have to attend. But for the most part, we're able to help people completely opt out of the system. And when you do that, you get to help people understand what is important and guide them through how you look at divorce, which again is just one part legal. There's so many other things that we need to think about and do. I went from owning California to a certain extent to now needing to scale. When I started this company, I was like, all right, let's just see if we can make this work. And now pivoted into how can we make this continue to comport with our conscience, continue to keep the average cost less than $1,500 a person, but still go national and make this a $100 million company. I'm doing a couple things. Number one is I've partnered with a company called A to J Tech. They have lawyers, designers, technologists. They're just absolutely amazing. They've gotten really, really good at the Documate piece, at the form generating software, and how to ask people questions in a way that elicits the best response for the forms. When I was a divorce lawyer, I'd finish up a case, even if we won. The last thing they wanted to do was talk to their divorce lawyer. But with Hello Divorce, they finish their divorce and everybody stays subscribed to our newsletter. They email regularly. Do you have a financial advisor that I can use? And how do I change my name? And I need to divide my retirement accounts. How do I do it? So I was thinking legal is one component of a really big puzzle when it comes to divorce. Whether we build those out or not, I don't know. Right now, what I'm working on, I'm building partnerships with companies that I trust. And then that also increases the long-term value of the customer. We get some money back, but also I'm sending them to people that I trust, wealth advisors, and so on and so forth. When I first started Hello Divorce, people wanted me to come on and talk about how to build their own. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. This is not easy. If you want to do it because you want to try something new and maybe earn a few $100,000, great. But if you think that you can build an awesome product and scale it, it's a day and night job. It is a real job. And you will earn for the first 5 years far less than you ever earned practicing law. And that's the hardest part. My biggest challenge was helping consumers to understand that there is a viable alternative to lawyering up for your divorce. I spent 70% of my marketing time convincing consumers that you could trust us. COVID hit and literally overnight, I didn't have to do it anymore. It's the only magic wand I've ever had in my career. It was shocking to me. We got thousands of inquiries in that first week of shelter in place. One of the things that we did right away, we went on podcasts, my team, and said, guys, don't get a divorce. This is crazy. Everyone's freaking out. Your marriage is not going to be over. The other thing that we do is educate people the difference between divorce coaches, aka life coaches, and divorce therapists, and when you might want one versus the other or both. If you're really wanting to focus on what your life will look like right now, how to make good choices throughout your divorce, and the therapist is going to look more back as how you got here and how you can not repeat the things that you did in the past. So of course we have referrals too outside of Frame, but I haven't had any time to really build out these partnerships. Now that's what's happening in the next year. And I am so excited to get out of the single focus, make enough money to cover payroll. Now we can start to build out this piece.
I'm grateful to Level Legal for supporting this conversation on simplifying complexity. And I just want to say,
Yeah,
Erin Levine, everybody. Wonderful
Thank
conversation.
you.
How lucky we are to learn from you. Thank you so much for doing this.